So CNN just casually admitted on live TV that illegal immigrants are in fact getting social security numbers and no one's talking about this. It's crazy. That was the hill the Democrats were ready to die on, despite the overwhelming amount of evidence that it was happening, and now their beloved CNN has admitted it. In fact, this whole video is just CNN completely destroying themselves and having an absolute terrible day. As always, like the video and subscribe to the channel, but I'm gonna give you what you clicked for. Here is CNN admitting that illegal immigrants have social security numbers.
We're tracking some new developments in the Trump administration's crackdown on immigration. The Associated Press is reporting that the United States has begun classifying thousands of living immigrants as dead. This is part of an effort to make their lives so difficult that they self-deport, according to the AP's sources.
Here's the big picture here. Without a social security number, it is harder to work. Can't open bank accounts or lines of credit. CNN's Renee Marsh is here on this story. Do we know how these migrants were chosen and if this will remain limited to them?
So a White House official is saying that these individuals are either they have an FBI record or they are on a terror watch list, but they did not give any evidence or any further information to confirm that all 6,300 of these individuals who are now marked dead in Social Security's systems, they didn't provide any evidence to back up that claim. But again, as you point out, I mean, this move, what it really does is financially starve these individuals. They don't have access to bank accounts. They don't have access to opening lines of credit. And as you said, makes it harder to work. And really, that is the goal for the administration.
But wait. I swore the Democrats said this wasn't happening. It was a right-wing conspiracy theory. We were all so stupid. We didn't know how the immigration system worked. Illegals don't have social security numbers. But then they'll admit things like, oh, illegals contribute this much to taxes. Wait, how do they pay taxes without social security numbers? And they'll say, oh, but the ITIN number. But that's really just used for visa holders who are coming here to work. Let me remind everybody of the Biden administration illegal immigration game. Taxpayers were funding the government who was funding NGOs who were facilitating the illegal immigration crisis, aiding the immigrants with services and coaching on how to say exactly what you need to say to qualify for asylum. In fact, there is evidence that even the Border Patrol under Biden was encouraging this. So illegal immigrants come to the border, they're apprehended, they're registered, they say what they need to say to qualify for asylum. Because asylum grants you all kinds of benefits that you otherwise wouldn't have. Like, wait for it, a social security number. Democrats have the whole wrong understanding about illegal immigration. They think it's like just border jumping. They don't think that it's a problem because they don't see the true intentions. It was a government-allowed illegal mass migration, gaming and taking advantage of asylum laws to flood the country with 10 million people and take advantage of these sanctuaries, send them all over the country, provide them with an enormous amount of American welfare, provide them with the legal aid they need. They get some court date 8 years down the road that they're never really expected to show up to. And their assumption is they can stay here, work here, have a kid who's born an American citizen, and then they'll be free to be here forever, citizenship or not. That was the entire game. And when you combine that with strong advocacy in these blue states for things like abolishing voter ID laws, you see what the Democrat strategy was to do. Worst case scenario, they didn't get all these people onto voter registries, but they still imported so many people that the new census of these blue places will gain representation in the House. It was a desperate attempt to create a one-party rule, jail the political opponent, and radicalize the United States into some extreme Marxist culture. I feel like the Democrats have to know it. They just can't say it because they've identified all illegal immigrants as victims, and you can't criticize a victim. So in order for their self-worth to be preserved, the Democrats can't face reality that this isn't a good idea. So they have to lie and manipulate reality and convince themselves that all illegal immigrants are peaceful and joyful and going to be such a benefit to us, and it's going to be the nicest thing in the world. We're opening our country to underprivileged people who are down on their luck. Every position that the Democrats have seems to be some comparable level of insanity, but it doesn't have to be this way. They could actually work with the Republicans on something all Americans agree should happen. Listen to Hillary Clinton back in the 90s talking about what we should do about illegal immigration. This will blow your mind.
So I think we got to have tough conditions. Tell people to come out of the shadows. If they've committed a crime, deport them. No questions asked. They're gone. If they've been working and are law-abiding, we should say, here are the conditions for you staying. You have to pay a stiff fine because you came here illegally. You have to pay back taxes, and you have to try to learn English, and you have to wait in line.
I mean, those exact words that she just said as a Democrat in the 90s would be considered by today's left to be far-right, fascist, authoritarian Nazi rhetoric. That is a perfect illustration about just how far left the Democrats have gone. That this used to be a Democrat position, and if you hadn't changed your mind at all over the past 30 years, you would now, according to a modern leftist, find yourself in deep right field. Again, it's like the video I played the other day of Nancy Pelosi back in the 90s talking about how we needed to hit China hard with tariffs. Like, damn, what happened to the Democrats? I wish we could live in a world where the other party, despite, having some disagreements on certain things that we should do, actually loved America, and we could agree on those core things that would help America. Instead, they're so hell-bent on fighting everything Donald Trump does because their brand is so in the toilet that they have no competing vision or ideas. Everything they say when they open their mouth is something like illegal immigrants should have Social Security and drain all of the resources that Americans need. Now, let me get into this epic clip from CNN where they're doing street interviews asking people about the tariffs, how it's making them feel, and they are surprised that they can't find a single person who's actually mad about them.
How do you feel about the tariffs?
Well, I feel like for years we've been getting ripped off, and why not make it fair? 0-0. And I think Trump was upfront about it. He said we're going to hurt some now.
I think some of the countries they're already starting to come around. It's going to be good. I really believe that.
You have faith in Trump?
Yes, I do.
I think he's doing the right thing. In order for us to get back where we need to be, he needs to get the money somewhere, and they're charging us. Why not charge them?
We have to remember, this is CNN. They would not have aired this unless they absolutely, positively had to. They would have loved nothing more than to show a narrative in which people were freaking out, in which people were panicked and scared, but they clearly couldn't find it. That's why I always find it so disingenuous, and I know it's fake. Every time Democrats on X or in the media say, oh, I know all these Trump supporters regret their vote. I'm getting word from my secret sources, ex-Trump supporters, they're regretting their vote. Oh, everywhere I'm hearing at the town halls, everybody's regretting their vote. But CNN can't find one person on their street interview who they would love to show slaughtering Donald Trump about his tariffs. And then what's worse than this embarrassment is right afterwards, they actually show a poll that shows that despite the tariffs, Trump's numbers are higher than ever.
This, to me, is one of the most shocking pieces of poll data that I truthfully have seen this year, or maybe in any prior year.
Really?
Yes, really, because I want you to take a look. Cares more about the needs for people like you. You mentioned it, Kate Baldwin. We got a tie, even after this tariff war had already started, split between Democrats and Republicans on how people feel. Which party cares more for needs of people like you? And why is that so surprising? Because I want you to take a look at prior years. Democrats always lead on this question. Back in 2017, before the 2018 midterms, 13-point lead. 2005, a 23-point lead for Democrats. 1994, which was a big Republican year, a 19-point lead for Democrats. And now, all of a sudden, a tie? All of a sudden, the Democrats, who are the party of the people, no more. We get a tie on this question, on a question that has traditionally overwhelmingly been a Democratic advantage. Which party cares more for the needs of people like you? It's truly something I would not have expected to see, especially after this tariff war had begun.
The problem with CNN and the Democrats is, again, they think everybody's so stupid. They're so pretentious. They're so arrogant. They continuously and disingenuously decide to show only one side of the tariff picture because they think it's still 1975 and they can control the narrative and say that tariffs are only bad without ever once talking about the potential benefits. But the American people aren't stupid. We hear Donald Trump. He's explaining it to us. We understand the vision. We understand the steps. And they're absolutely shocked that the poll shows this. Democrats don't understand it because they abjectly hate America, but the ones of us who love this country are willing to fight the good fight for the future of this amazing place. It's nowhere near the same stakes, but I said this on X. The greatest generation went to war, sacrificed their well-being to make sure that America could last, that the country they loved would continue. We have no manufacturing. China can turn the lights off on us anytime. No chips, no pharmaceuticals. This is an unsustainable situation with our biggest adversary. We have a $36 trillion national debt. We run massive trade deficits with Canada, Mexico, Europe, Japan, South Korea, China. We have a broken peace alliance with Europe, who apparently hates our guts. And all the theorizing that Europe is gonna somehow run into the arms of China is such an ignorant statement to make. China is the only country that has kept Russia in this war for 3 years. And Russia is the guy that all of Europe hates because they're terrified of him and believe he has European territorial ambitions. So you're telling me Europe is going to stop giving money to the people who protect them from the big bad Russia and instead take that money and spend it with China, who gives the money to strengthen and bolster the big bad Russia. So now you have a stronger Russia and a United States that won't protect you. No, Europe will fold just like everybody else. This is the real world. And it's crazy because all of these things are so easily accomplished through common sense and strength and leverage. And Donald Trump is willing to utilize it, unlike other spineless, soft, wet presidents. No, I'm happy Donald Trump is stopping the United States from falling off a cliff economically. Yeah, I can take a few days of a rocky stock market. Big whoop. Yeah, my $100 of groceries might be $104 now. Like, the absolute pathetic complaining and willingness to not understand the vision by the Democrats is so childish. Now, the last thing CNN was forced to admit today, which just shattered a hole through their Trump awful theory, is that wholesale inflation numbers also came in way lower than expected.
Well, let me run you through the numbers first. So we're talking about the producer price index. This is wholesale inflation before it gets to all of us as consumers. And we were expecting an increase in prices month over month. We did not get that. We got a drop in prices. Look at this, 0.4%. That is much better than anticipated. The annual rate, we were anticipating around 3.3%. We did not get that. We got a much lower number, 2.7%. This is a deceleration. And when we look at the trend, we can see that things have certainly improved from a few years ago when it comes to inflation. This metric, graphic's not up right now, but this metric was around 11%.
I want you to do it from memory.
So it was really, really high. It has come down significantly. Now, why was this number better than expected? There's a few factors. One of them is energy, right? We've seen oil prices plunge. That has lowered the cost of energy when you think about gasoline and diesel. So that's one of the things.
It's almost as if Trump is doing what he said he would do. Like, this is the whole problem with the biased media. Yes, tariffs have consequences. They have risks. Tell us about those. But any objective media should also tell you the benefits of tariffs. Yeah, sure, Donald Trump might not have lowered inflation. Tell us why. But also talk about how he did say how he was going to lower inflation and why that might also work. They just look so partisan, it's disgusting. Like they would lower the temperature and stop freaking out all these mentally deranged leftists. Stop telling them that the sky is falling. That's why when reports come out today for consumer sentiment, which again, I know it's a respected study, but how do you measure consumer sentiment? Like, fine, it's a study people use, so refer to it, but you can't look at something that vague, and that's more reflective of how the economy is over hard, tangible data like inflation numbers coming down, jobs numbers doing well, energy prices down, egg prices down. But the Democrat media is only talking about consumer sentiment and using these sensationalized talking points like lower than even the Great Recession. And it's like, does that matter? The Great Recession was objectively 20 times worse than it is right now. Like, that was a real recession. Millions of jobs lost. The housing market tanked. The bank system tanked. Like, nothing even close to that is happening right now. The market is barely down from its all-time highs. Like, the consistent effort to not understand is so disingenuous. You can't actually have good faith debate with these people.
The Democrat platform's shaping up. Raise taxes, be easy on China, and don't cut government spending at all. The only thing we haven't talked about is the border. And tonight, Jahana Hayes, the congresswoman from Connecticut, is saying she regrets the vote for the Lake and Riley Act. I mean, Democrats have learned nothing from the last election, and that's where they head in the midterms right now.
Like, if the Democrats just came out and said, we support Doge and cleaning up the government, we support deportations, let's do this like Hillary Clinton did. If they say we don't think men should be competing in women's sports, and they support tax cuts on working people, like, that small bit of common sense right there would probably boost the Democrats by 15 points in the polls. They're so bad, people aren't even looking for high-level, clever 4D chess ideas from the Democrats. They're just looking for the slightest glimpse of some common sense and living in reality. But let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Turn on the notification bell so you never miss a video. And I will see you guys in the next one.